Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BlueSync on July 11th, 2024. We are going to be talking about all things cybersecurity today. And this is a document that you all did receive a few weeks ago. It went out in an email from myself along with the E&O Cyber Suite, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time, kind of go through the document and answer any questions that you guys might have. So this didn't go directly to the agents at this time. We did ask for you and your managers to go ahead and share it with them. It'd be great to print it out, put it in your break rooms, put it in your mail rooms, make sure you send it to them in an email. And then especially when we get to the last point is what they should do if something happens. It's important for them to know that. So let's just go through it. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or go ahead and unmute and let me know. Let me zoom in just a little bit. That way we're not straining our eyes too badly. So again, it is a one-pager. We try to keep things, brief and to the point. Obviously, there's a lot more behind all of this information. So if you have any questions or if you find yourselves in a strange situation, don't hesitate to reach out to Paul, myself, Kelly, Jessica, some of those in the company that could help you out as well as your RSCs. So as you can see here, it does say that in order to maintain our protection for our insurance, we do need to ensure that our best practices are followed. So we all know we love our independent contractors, but they're just that, they're independent contractors. So we give them a Google Workspace email account to every agent that wants one. However, they can choose to use it or not use it. But some of these things in every situation is vastly different. So it's hard to say in any given situation if they're going to be covered or not, but these are our best practices. We do know we feel good about these 10 items, that if our agents are following these guidelines, that they will then have that added protection of our insurance, that peace of mind that we all crave, right? It doesn't mean they wouldn't be covered if they're using a different email, if they're on our Wi-Fi versus an open Wi-Fi at home. Again, so many vastly different situations, but these best practices will make sure that we're all safe, secure, and covered. So the first one is nothing new to any of us on the call, and that's strong passwords, right? We want strong, unique passwords. So that means don't have the same password for Netflix as you do your email, as you do your banking, as you do your Amazon account. We want unique passwords. As much as that's a pain in the butt, we do want unique passwords for each individual online portal. And you've probably seen that message come up saying, hey, this password was found in a breach. Do you want to update your password? Yes, you do. You want to make sure that your password stays safe. So as much as it can be an inconvenience, it's super important to make sure that our passwords are strong and unique. And again, we don't want those guessable. We all love our dogs. We all love our cats. But if you put on Facebook about your dog Fido and you use it as your password, it's just giving people the information that they need to access your account. So keep them strong, unique, and not guessable. And of course, we want two-factor authentication on every single possible online platform that allows it. That's text code, that's backup code, that's face recognition, that's thumbprint recognition, whatever it might be. We do want to enable two-factor. This will allow for that strong password to have backup with the two-factor, right? It makes it much more hard to access that online account with spammers or hackers or the dark web. Now, along with that two-factor and strong passwords, we want to make sure that we secure our devices. So password encryption on your computers, password encryption on your cell phones. Again, with face recognition, it makes it so much more simpler than it used to be having to put in your 4-digit or 6-digit code, but you do need to secure your devices. Whether you're staff or an agent, our Google Workspace accounts actually aren't even able to be loaded on cell phones that don't have that password on them. So the system does know if you have a password or face recognition or something on your cell phones. And if you don't, unfortunately, for security purposes, you can't use our Google Workspace account. So if you've ever gotten an error when trying to load an email, that might be why. Take a look at that. But that's outside of even our information. It's just really good practice for security to have your devices secured. Beware of phishing, right? This is not any new information for any of us on the call either. Don't click the link. Just don't do it. If you don't know who it came from, if you were anticipating that email with that link, with that attached PDF, just don't click it, don't open it, don't download it. Go ahead and reach out if you have any questions. If you have even a percent that thinks, well, this may actually be legitimate, don't hesitate to reach out. I will say if you're forwarding an email to Paul, myself, Kelly, or anybody to ask a question and it is got a link in it that could be bad, it could go to our spam. So best practice, take a screenshot, snap a photo with your cell phone, and then send that on into an email to us or give us a phone call. But if you're forwarding an email with a suspicious link, and it is suspicious, it could go to our spam filters. So if you are waiting for an answer and you've done that, that could be why. So go ahead and screenshot it like I mentioned, or snap a photo and then send it to us. But of course, you can always go ahead and pick up the phone and call us as well. Secure Wi-Fi connections. We all want to go to Starbucks and grab a latte and get to work. However, don't do it on their free Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi connections that are open are not secure. Options are hotspotting, having a VPN, or of course, connecting at any of our local offices. That is a secure Wi-Fi. If you're using open Wi-Fi networks for any transactional purposes, you are putting your data at risk. So go ahead and lock that down by using your hotspot, like I mentioned, a VPN, or going to any of our local offices and jumping on our secure Wi-Fi. Along with that, we want to protect our client data, right? That's what we're here. We're here to service our agents and for them to service their clients. And one of the best ways we can do that is securely transmitting our data. Please don't send PDF attachments of bank information, credit card information. Don't email that information. We do want to make sure that we're sharing that securely. .loop, @files, password protected files. However, you can securely send that. Adobe has an option as well. Google Drive can be encrypted. Make sure that we're sending that client data securely. Quick story, we had a escrow check, which is not abnormal, right? A copy of it emailed to the listing agent to prove that our buyer was actually having the escrow funds. Typical, right? We've all done it. It's not anormal to do that in a transaction. However, unfortunately, that inbox was breached. That copy of that PDF was taken by a spammer, and they used that copy of the check to take the bank codes off and make fake checks. And they used those fake checks to spend our buyer's money. So again, had nothing to do with the transaction per se. It wasn't wiring funds for closing. It was simply the copy of the escrow check was gotten by a spammer and then used to breach that client's bank account. So again, any of that information, anything that is sensitive, private, does need to be sent via .loop @files or another encrypted way just to keep that data safe. Keep our software updated, right? Super annoying. Every morning, how many red little buttons do we have on our phone saying update, update, update? Super important. Get in the habit, do it every morning, do it every night, whatever it might be, but keep your devices all updated. Keep your PCs updated, your Macs updated, your cell phones, whether you're on Apple or Android. If there's an update, make sure that you run that update. Every day there's a new way to hack into our systems, and every day there's a new patch that these services put out to keep us safe. So I know it's annoying, and sometimes it changes how our systems work, but the reason is because as soon as somebody figures out how to hack, they're figuring out how to secure it. So we have to make sure that we're running those updates so that we can stay up to date on the security available to us. Secure email communications. I mentioned it before. We offer to everyone a Google Workspace account. Paul works really hard at monitoring all of the activity in there. We get notifications if anybody's been compromised, suspicious behavior. We are monitoring that at all times so that we feel good about the security. We have our settings set so that we feel good about the security. We can't promise that same security on Hotmail, AOL.com, Yahoo.com, Charter.net. We cannot say that that is protected in your email. So please go ahead and utilize the information or the account that we give you. You can do things like a forward, you can mask an alias. It doesn't mean you can't get that information into your endpoint email that you want, but there is a safe and secure way to do that. Best practice is just to use our Google Workspace account provided for you. Great question. Michelle asked if this list will be in the ASC square. It's actually in the ASC drive. So it is in the drive. I'm not sure if it's in the square, but I'm going to make sure after this call, it's in the ASC square and the manager square. So that's readily available. But I do know that it is in the ASC Google Drive right now. Great question. Be wary of wire fraud, right? You can talk to your blue in the face, and unfortunately it still happens. Best thing we can do is just continuously communicate that. Another quick story, we had an incident in Michigan. Buyer signed the wire fraud waiver, right? In Loop, part of their package was to sign the waiver. They signed it. They were aware. They had a conversation with both the agent and the title company. Make sure that you talk to us. Don't wire funds from an email. It happened. Somebody's inbox got compromised. Spammer got the title company's information, buyer's information, seller's information, agent's information, sent a fraudulent email to the buyer with fraudulent wire instructions, wired $53,000 just to the bad guys. So as much as we talk about it, as much as we try to keep our consumers safe by having them sign those documents, it still happens. So talk about it often and talk about it to everybody involved. Just make sure that you're verifying those wire instructions. You never know where they may came from. So the verbal conversation with your trusted partner, your title partners, your agent is very vital. I mean, it happens, unfortunately. We're trying to avoid that at all costs, which leads me to my next point, our incident response plan. If you have even an inkling, if your spidey sense is going off at any point for any reason, reach out, notify your manager, notify leadership immediately. We need to know right away. Speed is important in these situations. We can't always guarantee that we can get things corrected and get funds reversed, but the sooner we know about it, the more securely we can make sure that our systems are locked back down. So notify your manager and leadership right away. Call our help desk. The number is referenced right there. You can call me, you can call Kelly, you can send us a text, whatever it might be, but we do need to know right away. And the best thing we can tell our consumers is they should call their banking partners and local law enforcement immediately. Again, immediately is important. Unfortunately, the second that wire is gone, a lot of times it's just gone and there's no way to pull it back. But sometimes we are able to help them. So we need to tell the consumer right away, call your bank, call local law enforcement. Every law enforcement department that I know of has a non-emergency number. A lot of them actually have cyber numbers now too, just because this is so prevalent in the world right now. So make sure you do a quick Google search. If you wanted locally in your offices, you could pull that information together for your agents. Real hard to do, by us because we're in so many markets, but you could do that locally. You could reach out, do a Google search, find that number, and then you can always add that at the bottom of this list if you'd like to provide that for your agents. But speed is important. We need to know right away. When agents call in, we'll immediately tell them, make sure you are changing your passwords, clearing your cookies, running your antivirus if you have it. Like there's steps that we can go through, and Paul is amazing at going through those steps with everybody. So we just need to know about it right away. If you've clicked a link and you don't feel good about it, but nothing really seems to be happening, still reach out. At very least, change your passwords. Super important, right? Because as soon as you click that link, 9 chances out of 10, they have what they need. So we need to make sure that we're securing our systems. Like I said, a lot of times these inadvertent things, we know you guys don't want the systems to be breached. So just reach out and we'll get it fixed. It happens to the best of us. And these guys are getting really good at making some of this information look valid. So don't hesitate to reach out. Good question, Amy. The question was, is it okay to have our EMD payload link URL in printed marketing material? Yes. So that URL is encrypted, it's secure. So there's no way of getting any data from just having the URL readily available so that our consumers can use it. So yeah, that is okay. Good question. So quickly, we'll just jump over to our E&O Cyber Suite. So insurance is a necessary evil in everybody's lives, right? It gives us peace of mind, and our agents should rest knowing that they do have a Cyber Suite rider on their E&O policy. So although we have our company policy that covers us as a company, because we do the certain things with security, with our Google, with our backups, with our Wi-Fi, with our firewalls, we have all of that in place. Our agents actually do have a Cyber Suite rider on their E&O. So this can cover them in some other situations if and when things happen. So this document is also available. It was sent out. Unfortunately, I inadvertently forgot the second page the first time I sent it out. And I do believe it was Amy that pointed that out to me. So I will make sure that this gets resent out to you guys so that you have it. But it kind of just explains what that benefit is for the agents when it comes to cybersecurity. Gives a couple of scenarios, talks about risk management, and just gives them some information. Plus, it gives them a way to contact Pearl if and when they have any further questions. So it's a great document. It's a great value add that we give our agents along with their normal E&O policy. So it's important that they kind of, follow our best practices so that they're covered, but also know if and when things happen, we are covered by insurance. So I'll go ahead and pause here for a moment to see if we had any other questions. To recap, I will make sure that this information is, I know it for sure it's in the ASC drive now, but I'll make sure it gets put in Schmidt Resources in the ASC and Manager Square. Again, we're asking for your help locally. Go ahead and print it off, send it to your agents, talk about it early, talk about it often, and we'll keep everybody safe and secure. I don't see any questions at this moment, so I'll thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye now.